Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I'm so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for your Wednesday. Excited to be coming to you for the first working day if you're listening live after Independence Day. I hope you all had a good time with friends and family, celebrating, relaxing. Hopefully you were not cutting people's residential yards, maybe got some commercial work done, but most people hate you being there on Independence Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Those 3 days, people do not like you in their yards. So it's one thing I've learned in business. Even though the work has got to get done, you want to be careful about doing that type of stuff on those 3 holidays. But anyway, hope you got a lot done, spent some time with friends and family, of reflecting and remembering not just the 4th of July, not just hanging out at the lake, but remembering what Independence Day is all about. I'm not a historical podcast, but go listen to your history shows. There's a lot of good ones out there. Just make sure you refresh your memory on what Independence Day is representing. So representing our freedom, us breaking away from being under England's rule and becoming an independent nation. And so we would not be where we are today if it wasn't for those brave founding fathers and all the people who came to the New World and put everything in place to what we have today. We've grown a lot. We've gone backwards a lot. But you know what? We're living, we're learning, we're growing. We're trying to do the best we can. You just got to do your part and make sure that you are being a voice out there for what you believe in. And so don't just sit back silently in the shadows. Be an advocate for what you believe in. Do your research. Be educated. But I believe that you can bring a lot of value to a lot of different people if you do research on these things. And so I have a lot more to do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a history buff. I cannot sit here and talk about Independence Day for 30 minutes today. But just remember, take time and remember where we came from and how blessed we are to live in this country, because we are. We wouldn't even have, there's a lot of countries you wouldn't even have this platform to be able to listen to. I wouldn't have this platform to put it out, and you wouldn't have the ability to listen. So a lot of different areas there. So I will go ahead and warn you, you are going to have to bear with me a little bit tonight. My voice is good, finally. Got rid of that cold a little bit. But I am recording on the 4th of July or Independence Day. And, everybody's shooting fireworks, and so I got fireworks going off in the background. The dogs are sitting here with me, and they are not happy campers. So if you have animals, 4th of July is just a crazy day. Any day that you're shooting fireworks, it's pretty much New Year's Eve, 4th of July are the worst days. And so animals do not like the banging of fireworks. So we're doing the best to keep them calm and under control. But what do we want to get into today? I got to start saying We're too far. We're 2 minutes into the show, and I've said the probably like 10 times. But just wanted to do a quick rundown. Maybe you're new to the show, haven't tuned in a while, maybe you missed out, you hadn't listened in a couple months, and you're just trying to catch up and see where we're at. So I am Jeremiah. We got the Growing Green podcast, Growing Green Landscapes on social media. Married to my beautiful wife, Savannah. We do our Marriage Monday shows together, and it is just an honor to come to you 3 times a week. We talk all things business, family, marriage, everything in between here on this show, literally everything. And so that's kind of who we are, what we do here on the show. We're coming up, we just passed 2 years of having the show, which was a huge milestone, over 200 and something episodes by now. And it's just been an honor to be coming to you 3 times a week, trying to bring as much value and entertainment as we can. Thank you all for tuning in and listening and joining along with us. It's just like, I love it so much. Even the days that are long and tough and hard, just getting to know that we're making an impact and people are listening and learning and growing. That is what I want out of it. I want just people to learn and grow. I don't want a massive, huge audience following just to have the numbers, but I want people to grow. And I think we've been able to do that. A lot of people have grown. A lot of people have tuned in, chimed in, and so we appreciate that. Share the show. That always helps us. That's normally our agenda for the end of the show, but figured I'd just slide it in here in the beginning. But I tell you what, I want to give you a little business update. It's 6 months into the year now. We're into Q3. And I want to do a little business update today just on kind of where we're at, where the landscaping company is, and what we have, what our future plan is moving forward. If you followed along with us the last 3 months, it's been a whirlwind of 3 months for sure. It has been 3 months that I did not think were going to happen. If you would have asked me back in January if I was going to be in this position in July, I would have told you no way. Like, I don't think we'll be there at all. Turns out we're here. And so I am excited to kind of just walk through where we're at. We have so much. So let me preface this by saying this isn't a show talking about how good we are. This is a show talking about like how much we have to learn and grow on. But I want to just kind of walk you through the progression of what our company has looked like and transformed into in the last 6 months. So this is circa July the 4th of 2023. And Growing Green Landscapes is doing really, really well, honestly. We have our challenges. We have our pain points we're still trying to work through, but we're doing pretty well, and I'm excited to be where we're at. And it is awesome to see that so many other guys around me and girls are running great companies, and you're all succeeding. Like, there's so much success, so much good, just like good vibes in the air. All that stuff is just going on, and it's fantastic to see that we have built a community on social media that we can get around each other and support each other and uplift each other. And it's just so great that that is actually a thing, because I know 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago that was not a thing. And so everybody was competition, nobody was friends. And I think it's just the opposite now. 90% of people are friends. You got your 10% that is just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. We're not being friends. You're my competition. And so we don't really want those here on the show if you're that way. Hopefully we can change you and get you over in here to where you're friends with your people around you. What's crazy is like there's a lot of people that listen to this show. If you look at our numbers, like our downloads, not the number of downloads, but like the locations, a lot of people listen in my hometown, and so there's probably a lot of other company business owners that listen, and if I'm talking to you, you know who you are, but that I don't even know who they are. And so reach out and say, hey, we're not competition, we're friends. And so we got a small city here, and I see the numbers that are downloaded in our city, and so I'm like, people have to be listening that I don't know actually listen to the show. And so it's an honor. It's really cool to be able to do that. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So we got a lot of room to work, a lot of room to grow on, but we started the year in 2023, January of 2023. It was our first winter keeping on a full-time employee. And you talk about stress. That was a lot. It wasn't terrible, but it was a lot. It's a big chunk of payroll you keep adding on there, and I was paying him very well. We were paying kind of like a salary position. We weren't working 40 hours a week, but I was still paying him for it. And we had enough to stay busy. We did work probably 3 days a week, 3 to 4 days a week at the most. And so life was pretty good. We were doing good. I was keeping him on. The year was looking great. And I think maybe March rolled around, end of February, beginning of March rolled around, and he decided he was going to go do another career. You've probably heard, if you go back, listen to shows back in March, April when all this was happening, we update everybody real life, real time on the show. So you probably heard that whole situation, but decided to move on, even after we had just kept him on all winter long. But anyway, we just he decided to move on, and so we said, okay, and we moved forward, and I went about hiring another guy. We've hired 4 people this year. One guy that worked with us last year, and 3 new people. And it has been a challenge, to say the least, I would say. If you are dealing with people, you're dealing with employees, you know how hard it is. It is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. And this is something that I'm having to learn and grow through every single day, of how to hold guys accountable, but also be a small business that like cares about their employees and wants to give them these things and wants to make room for when they have to call in or something, if they're sick or a kid's sick or a family member's sick. Like, you want to care about your employees, you want to do that, but you don't want to give too much leeway, because then they start abusing it. And we've had the run of everything this year. And luckily, we survived it. We've got some guys that are doing pretty well right now. They seem to be enjoying what they're doing. They are pretty good workers. We don't have many callbacks, which is really good, especially in this beginning stage of like me working myself out of the field. So that was, preface this year was like, I want to get myself out of the field as much as possible, and I'm going to hire my position out, teach the guys how to mow, teach the guys how to run the rig, fix things when things get broken. And that was the goal. And so that was what we did. And I'd actually done that. Then the guy from last year quit, and then we just started all over. And so anyway, right now we're at a point where I can pretty much be out of the field every day of the week as far as mowing goes, except I'm simply there for production. Lack of production is a big issue that we're working through right now. And that's something that it's not anything against the guys. I'm just I've got to get to a point where I add a third. They've got to pick up their production, and I think I'm going to have to add a third person at least 2 to 3 days a week, just because we're dropping from me and them, so a 3-man crew to 2, and it's tough. Like, we have a lot of big properties. We don't have a ton of numbers of properties. We just have large properties, and so they take longer, things like that. And so that's what we're working through. I'm trying to figure that out. Any of you that have kind of been in this transition phase of 1, 2, 3, 4 employees, that would be an awesome interview to talk about. So if you've gone through that and you'd be interested in sharing it on the show, reach out and let me know. We might try to set something up about that, because I would love the advice. I would love to just hear how you navigated those waters, and then jumping from like that 2 to 5, that 2 to 4. What does your revenue look like? What does production look like? Those are all things that we have to kind of figure out as we go. And I'm learning and trying to grow along the way, while also keeping some money in my bank account and not giving it all out to employees. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, is we're just in those growing pains of figuring this stuff out, trying to train, trying to delegate, things like that. But so that's the employee situation. Well, we get into so last year I sold the diesel truck that I had bought 2 years ago. Just wasn't using it the way that it needed to be used. It was a diesel. It had decent miles on it. Probably had like 130,000 miles, 140,000 miles. I got to the point where I just had a bad feeling. I was like, stuff's going to start breaking soon. I don't want to pay for this. It's very expensive to work on diesels. We don't have many mechanics around that do. And so I was like, I need to get out from under this. I don't want it anymore. It just wasn't a good fit for what we needed it for. So I sold that thing, and I actually took a loss on that. That was just a bad decision. I bought that thing so prematurely, and I've talked about that. That's one of the biggest financial business mistakes I've made, honestly. It was spring of 2021, and we were growing, and I was like, man, I got to have this, and we bought it, and overpaid for it, and then I sold it for less than I probably should have. But it was just that whole situation was rough. I'm sure you have been through that as well. I'm sure there's a couple of you that have done that. Excuse me for the yawning. It's been a crazy past couple of days. We'll get to where we're at right now in a second, but give you some context into that. But there was just a bad situation. So I sold it, and we moved on, was debt free. And then this year rolls around. I was using, so we have the box truck for our lawn maintenance, and then I was using my old 1500 that I have for landscape stuff. And the spring rolls around. We were getting so much just like mulch, pine straw, just material based jobs, plants. And we were sitting here hand shoveling every single time, unloading at the house or when I was dumping places, because we have it extra. We were shoveling it off the trailer. And I was like, this has to stop. It's absolute lunacy. This is terrible waste of our time. It's so bad. It's so inefficient. This has to stop. And so we put an end to that, went out and bought a dump trailer. That was the first purchase, and then we've just kind of progressed from there. So bought a dump trailer, bought a 7x14 dump trailer. That is a good size for me. I think it's what we need it for right now. It fits our business pretty well. I would like a 16-footer. I don't know if they have those without the gooseneck, though. I don't remember. Maybe this is a 7x16. I don't remember. It's either. I actually think it is. I think mine is a 7x16, and I would like an 18. I think. I don't remember all the details. I'm pretty sure it's 16 though, actually. So 7x16. It's been great so far. No issues. It's been fantastic. It's just like we've been able to haul so much more. We're saved so many logistical just nightmares of who's going to drop the load and then go back to the shop while the other people work. Like that just so bad. And so we got that, and that was great. But that was the beginning of the growing pains, I guess you could say, for equipment. And got that, put it to work. Well, the 1500 just wasn't going to pull anymore. It's a small 1500. It's a 4.8, and it just wasn't going to work. It has 4-wheel drive and stuff. It's a great truck, but it just could not pull that much weight. And so we pulled it for probably like a month or so, and I was like, this is going to end up killing the truck. Like, this will blow the truck up. I have to stop this. And what happened was I got stuck on a hill one day, and I'm pretty sure I told this story back a couple episodes ago, but long story short, I was doing a sod job, had 2 pallets of sod in the truck with dirt in the front. The trailer with dirt up front. Had to back down a pretty steep hill because it was at the bottom of the driveway, and I had to park on the driveway, so I was backing down. The trailer weight was so heavy, it started pulling the truck, and the brace could not hold it, and I started sliding. Luckily, I stopped. I had to be MacGyver and throw some blocks. I had to put my umbrella in between the seat and the brake to hold the brake down while I hopped out and blocked the tires because I was going to slide down the driveway, take out a retaining wall, tear down a fence. It was going to be a bad day. So when that happened, I said, no more, will not be doing this again, and went out and started looking, searched for a couple weeks for a truck, found one that fits our business really, really well. We went to Ford F-250, the XLT trim, not anything crazy, but not just the total work truck, a base model. I'm using this as a personal truck as well, so when we go on family trips, Savannah's car is a little crossover SUV. It's a nice car. It's in good shape. It just isn't big enough for all the stuff we have to take, and so we will be taking this truck on trips and things like that. So I didn't want to get a totally base model because I wanted to double as both. And so I bought it with 60,000 miles. Not bad at all, in my opinion. I wasn't going to go buy a new one. New ones are like $90,000 right now. I swear they're insane. So went and did that and found one, went and bought that, and everything was good. Gucci was pulling the dump trailer, just like rolling up and down the streets, no problem. I actually had a job like 2 days after buying the truck that I had to back up a steep hill to get to the top of a driveway. This was the reverse as the other one. I had to get up to the top of the driveway because we had a ton of pine straw, mulch, shrub trimming, like a bunch of stuff. I needed the trailer at the top because I wasn't walking and hauling all this stuff up and down the hill. Needless to say, if I was in the other truck, literally, I think this was 2 days earlier. If I was in the other truck, zero chance I would have made it up the driveway. We would have been hauling from the bottom up. And little instances like that are where I'm like, see, this is why you make the investment. This is why you make the purchase. Even though it's a lot of money, you do this because the amount of time and effort it saved on that day alone is just worth buku-doodles of money to me. We would not have finished everything that day 100% just because we would have eaten up so much time walking up and down the driveway. We would have gotten so tired. We would have gotten so tired so much faster. It would not have been a good time at all. And so got that, put it to work. It's been running great. It's been we got the 7.3 gasser. We got the big gasser. We didn't get the diesel. I didn't really want to go back to a diesel. There's a small part of me that wishes I did get the diesel now because moving forward, so I bought the dump trailer, put it to work, got the truck, put it to work, and then we just started getting, the last 3 months, April, May, June, we have just been getting covered up with requests for landscape jobs like sod, design, install, tear out, like everything you can think of landscape, we've been getting requests for. And so I was getting to the point, I was like, what are we doing? We have to have a machine for this. Like, I have to have a machine. I can rent one. We have a Home Depot. That's our only rental yard around us. And they keep one Toro Dingo TX1000 in stock. One. And so luckily I was able to get it for like a week back, I don't know, a month ago maybe, because I had a couple other jobs that I used it on, and I just rented it for the week. As soon as I saw it in the parking lot, I said, give it to me for the week, and spent $1,200 on that, I think, for the week. And then I had to take it back and give it back to Home Depot. And so I was like, well, that sucks. Like, one, I don't even know if they're gonna have it available. Two, I don't want to spend $1,000 and then give it right back for a week. Like, that's profit. That's overhead recovery in my business that I could be using. And have a machine all the time. And so we started on the lookout, and I rode this for probably a month to a month and a half of like, are we going to book out? Are we going to have continuous work? I'm not going to go make some rash decision. We just sat back, scheduled these jobs out, rented it for that time, knocked out a bunch in 1 week. And I was like, are we going to keep getting this? This is going to stay consistent. What are we going to do? Well, it has stayed consistent. It has not slowed down. And we decided, well, I'm going to have a machine. So we got on the lookout, looked for another few weeks, again, just back and forth off Marketplace, some local dealers around here, around my house. And I was just like, well, I just can't find what I want. Like, I can't justify spending $50,000 on a TX1000 from Toro. Same thing for Bobcat, pretty close, pretty similar. And I also don't want to go spend $8,000 or $10,000 for a little like 427 Dingo or something like, or 525. Like, that just it's not gonna move what I need it to move, and it's not gonna have the power that I need it to have. in the long run. I could do it and make it work for now, but like I don't want to waste $8,000 or $10,000 on that. And just because I could sense the way the company's going and sense the way the jobs we're doing, like we're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger jobs. I don't want to be limited by that machine. So got on the lookout, kept looking, and then finally one came up about 3 hours away in Georgia, and I've never heard of it before. I was like, what is this thing? And it is called an Iron Rhino IR1000. It's essentially the same. It's comparable. I don't know how you would say that word. You can compare it to the Dingo 1000, the MT100, the Bobcat. Those are the two machines that it's compared to. And it has been a fantastic machine so far for all of one day that I've used it. So I'm not going to sit here and do an endorsement show. We have some things that we've got to work through and get figured out before I can do that. I need to put it to work. I need to actually make sure and test it. So if you're sitting there asking yourself, what is Iron Rhino? What is that? It is a Chinese manufactured excavator or mini skid steer, but they have mini X's. They have all kinds of different things. It's a pretty large brand actually, and so I decided to pull the trigger. We found the one we wanted. It was in our budget of what I was wanting to spend, and I was like, this is going to be a good investment. So we did it and went and picked that thing up last week and put it to work just yesterday actually on our biggest landscape job to date. We're putting in. I had to scrape up all kinds of old weeds, grass, things like that from the previous yard. There's a lot of Bermuda, and we're going back with zoysia, so I wanted to get it out all the way down, like under the roots and stuff to get it all the way out. So scraped all that, got it all out, and now we got to go back tomorrow and finish the grading and the dirt and the prep and stuff for the sod to come in, hopefully tomorrow afternoon or Thursday. And so I put it to work yesterday, ran it for probably 6 hours, and it was a hoss. It never let up one time. They had a bunch of trees cut down and stumps grind up. I was tearing roots out left and right, like no problem at all. It was a hoss of a machine. So now we're going to see how it lasts. We're going to compare it to, like I said, the Dingo 1000. I've ran that. That's the Home Depot rental thing that we get. That's the machine we get from there. So I've been on that. I'm familiar with it. I'm comfortable. So far, I like this thing. I'm not going to sit here, like I said, and back it yet, but that is the info. Like I said, reach out to me if you want more details on it. I've got to work through a few more things here, and then we should be good to like fully endorse and things like that. But I got to work it a few more days and just stand the test of time before I sit here and like, yeah, go get one today. But it is significantly cheaper. There's a big price cut for it being manufactured in China, and so it does have the Kubota diesel engine in it though. It's manufactured like a tank, man. It's built very well, at least from the like consumer point of view that I'm in. Like I'm not a mini skid steer professional. I'm not a heavy equipment professional. So some of you that have ran it for 10 or 15 years, you might be like, no, this thing's a piece of junk. Well, if it is, too bad. I'm already bought in now. So. That's kind of where we're at. So we went dump trailer, new truck, new to me truck, not a new truck, new to me truck, and a new mini skid steer, all within a matter of like 4 months. So technically, I could make this title of the episode and maybe catch a lot of eyes. Technically, if you want to be super technical, I'm technically in $90,000 of debt within 3 months. You hear that and you say, what did you do? You're in $90,000 of debt. Well, let me just let me rebuttal this by saying, yes, I'm in $90,000 of debt. And between these three pieces of equipment now that I have to make my business more efficient, more effective, and I can do things a lot faster, we have already scheduled on the books for over half of that. We have that work scheduled. And so that's where we're at. I'm like, now is that total profit? Obviously not. No. But we have that much sales just in the next month and a half. And so you tell me if it's a good investment or not. I could wait around and save up $30,000, $40,000 to buy this machine and wait 2.5 to 3 years to save that money. Or I can leverage the bank's money and pay some interest on it and get a machine, and now I'm going to generate multiples and multiples and multiples and pay a fraction of what I would pay renting. And because keep in mind, that whole time that I would be saving to buy a machine, I would be renting a machine, just throwing money away. It's the whole like buy a house, rent a house principle. I do believe there are good times to rent a house. I believe there's good times to rent a machine. You need to do that. It's what we did. When we didn't know if the work was going to be consistent, and we didn't know if we could fit it into the budget and make it work in our company, we rented. We rented for 3 years now, and any landscape job we've done, we've rented machines. And I got to the point where I was like, hey, it's time to pull the trigger. And so I'm going to pay a fraction. I'm going to pay less a month for this machine than I would for 1 week's rental of the one from Home Depot. So if you tell me you have one job a month for the rest of the summer, then that's going to be my payment is going to be less than what I would pay in the Dingo for the rest of the year. Like it's common sense. I don't know. I say it's common sense. You run your business how you want to run your business. This is not financial advice. But guys, I don't understand. Like, how do you think the rich get rich? They leverage other people's money. They don't use their own. When people buy real estate, they use the bank's money, not their own. You pay a fraction on interest, and it's going to generate me, like, if I pay 10% interest, but I can generate 35% more revenue, you do the math. You tell me if it's a good decision or not. And, like, it's the same thing with the truck, same thing with the trailer. The trailer, like, the mini skid steer is obviously, it is an income-producing asset to my business, in my opinion. You might think differently. It is a liability, technically, I guess you could say, but because you have to have an operator to produce the income. So it's not just going to make income not do anything if it just sits in your basement. So I guess you could call it, you might not call it an asset, you might call it a liability, but to me, when it's running, it's an asset to our company. The truck is not an asset, but you have to look at it of like, so catch up really fast. The old truck that I was using, the motor is blown up in it. It's about to be shot. Like, it still runs and drives, but I played the recording of the noise it was making for the mechanic, and their eyes got so big they didn't know what happened. And they were like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, that thing's about to blow up. Do not drive it anywhere. So that's the situation I'm in there. And it's like, if I would have waited and just kept driving that truck, then that truck would have blown up on me. And then I would have been sitting here with a 20-pallet sod job, a machine, and a dump trailer that needs to be moved around. And sod is going to have to be delivered, and I'm going to go get a couple more pallets. And just like all these logistics that I could have made it work with the old truck up until the motor blew up. Yeah, I could have. But then the motor's going to blow up, and then I have all this stuff happening, and then I'm stressed. Then I'm like, I got to find a truck, and I'm going to make some irrational decision on buying a truck like I did 2 years ago, one that I don't need. I'm going to overpay for. I'm just going to settle and not get what I want. And that's what you have to realize is, like, the opportunity cost that thing is costing you, the 1500 that I was using, it was literally, the engine's so small, I couldn't pull a big load up and down a hill. I couldn't do it. It was going to end up and down any steep hills, at least. It would have stopped. It wouldn't be able to stop it going down a hill. And so, like, if that thing breaks down, then I get in a scenario where I'm just like running around like a chick with my head cut off trying to get jobs done, while also trying to buy a truck, or I'd have to be renting like one from Home Depot or something like that, paying for that. And it's just like, it's just not smart. It's just like, I don't know. I don't understand why you would do that. And so I used that truck for an extra year and a half, and I made it work in our business. And then I got to the point where this isn't going to work anymore. We have to have something bigger. We have to have something safer, and we need something that just fits our business better. Our business it's growing, it's expanding, and we just needed something that would fit that. And so made that decision. Back to the dump trailer. The dump trailer, it is saving us time and efficiencies. It's saving us so much money because I guess it's not technically saving money. Like, it is, but it isn't. It's just saving time. We're not having to unload mulch. We're not having to shovel out mulch and dirt and sod and all this extra stuff that we have left over from jobs. I'm not having to worry about that because I can just press the button and dump the thing. And, like, I can carry so much more weight. I was using my utility trailer for everything, and that utility trailer is a 7,000-pound rated trailer. That's not including that's including the trailer weight. So, like, you throw 2 pallets of sod on there, those axles are about to bust because you've got, we'll call the sod 2,500 pounds apiece. You got 5,000 pounds of sod on there, and that's on the low end. And then a little bit of dirt to put down, so you're looking at another 300 to 400. And then the trailer weight, which is a couple hundred pounds. And it's just like you're maxing out a trailer. You can't even do anything. And that's how it was for us. I made it work. But I realized we have the work to justify buying this stuff and making the investments into our business and into us. And so I would not proudly, but I mean, I'll openly say all three of those pieces of equipment are financed. And I'm using other people's money to hold on to my cash to reinvest into other things. If I would have gone out and spent $50,000 on a truck or even $12,000 on a dump trailer, could I have paid cash? Yeah, I could have paid cash, yeah. But it's just like, is that really the best way to spend my money? Because now I'm also in the business of starting. I'm in the process of starting another business, which is going to take cash, and it takes cash to buy attachments for this mini skid steer now that are $2,500 to $3,000 a piece that we need because we need to be more efficient. I have the machine now. I need to have these. I'm not going to go back and buy them all at one time. And this isn't me saying talk yourself into things you need when you don't actually need them. But when you getting the work coming in, the proof is in the pudding. Like, you're actually doing this. And like, I tell you how I knew I needed it. My wife was on board with me when I told her all this stuff. When I went to her and said, look, we need to buy these things for the company, she was like, yeah, I know. Like, I see you out there shoveling off the mulch when you bring the trailer and unload it. Like, I see that stuff. I see the truck going 5 miles an hour down the road because it can't pull the weight. Like, I see you running the machine and having to worry about getting to Home Depot at 6:55 in the morning to hope no one else gets there at 7 when the doors open and beats you to the machine. Like, I see all those things. And so those are all like logistical time saving things. Those are also like, it's saving me, the machine's saving me money as far as like rental and stuff goes, but like logistics. Just imagine with me the logistics of renting a machine, and you have a job where you have material involved. So Home Depot, you have to use their trailers. At least here you do. And so I'd have to go to Home Depot, which is about 15 minutes away, drive there, deal with the rental contract, sign all that, get it loaded, let them come out there, unlock everything, make sure everything runs. That's a 20-minute process at best. You do all that, then you have to drive 15 minutes back home to take the machine off the trailer and park the trailer, and then put the machine on your trailer, and then you have to go get material, if you can even fit the material and stuff on the trailer with the machine. Because you never know how much material you're going to have and stuff. So take that away. You can't fit the machine and the material. Then you just have to bring the trailer, you take the trailer to the job site or whatever, and then drop the machine off there, and then bring the trailer to the house, and then load up in your trailer, to go get the material, to then go back to the job site. Like, you're talking hours and hours that you're spending in logistical problems that is unbillable time. Where now, I walk outside, pull the machine on the trailer, drive out of the driveway, and go to the job. Or go to the nursery and get material. And it's just like, those time-saving things is that time is money. And you have to realize that. You have to think about these things in your business. And this is not me telling you to go make rash decisions and buy things you don't need. This is just me saying, think about these things. Don't let a dollar sign control like the future of your business. Because you have to invest. You have to take a risk. Being in business is one big risk. You're all a part of it. You're all taking a big risk if you're listening to the show and you're in business for yourself. And so that's where we're at. Like, that is where we're at in business. I have $90,000 worth of debt, but I'm going to generate over half of that in the next 2 months. You tell me if it's a good decision or not. You can tell me it's not. I'll listen. I'll gladly listen and hear your opinions, and I would like to have a conversation about it. This isn't a debt versus no debt episode. This is just me saying, find something that works for your business and grow your business. Our business is growing more in the last 3 months because of taking on this amount of debt and leveraging, buying the equipment that makes us efficient. If I would have waited to pay cash for all of this, it would have taken me 3 years minimum. 3 years minimum, and that would be me living like a hermit to save $90,000 to go pay for all this stuff. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Let's be smart here. Be smart. If being smart for you is saving money and paying cash, then you be smart and you do that. If being smart for you is leveraging other people's money, paying a little bit of interest, and then going and selling work and generating 25% to 30% more than that, okay, then be smart. You decide that for your business. You decide your life. You decide your future. But make good decisions. Get around good counsel. All right, ask questions. Make sure your spouse is on board. We've done all these things. And so that's where we're at right now. The business is going in a great direction. It's going straight up right now. We're working through the employee thing, the maintenance side of things that I'm trying to just it's not even the employee's fault. It's my fault. I've not implemented systems and processes the way that I should have, and it's on me. That part is on me. I'm preaching to myself. It's hard because I'm stretched thin in a million different directions, but it's not an excuse. And your company is only as good as the time and effort that you put in. And so, I don't know. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go before we're where we need to be, where we want to be. A lot's going to happen along the way. A lot has happened along the way. And I'm glad that we get to share with you kind of where we're at. And hopefully this relates to somebody out there. And you might just think, well, man, I'm not the only one in this stage of business. There's someone else out there who is going through the same thing as me. And so it's growing pains, it's problems that we all deal with. You're not alone. Keep your head up, keep pushing, keep grinding. And I'll help you however I can. Shoot me a message, book a coaching call. We'll talk for an hour for $95. Like it's pretty good value, I would say, just to get to hear somebody else's point of view. And so that's all I got for you guys. Like that's where we're at. Don't let somebody else. I think that might be the title of the show. Don't let the dollar sign control the future of your business. And you need to be smart about it. Make your decisions. Get around wise counsel. Ask questions. A conversation is only as good as the questions that are asked. Okay. Your decisions are only good as the answers that are the answers to the questions that are asked, because you have to have good questions. All right. So keep these things in mind. I didn't mean to preach. I don't want to preach to you too bad. If you're coming together in the trades, we can't wait to see you there. It's just crazy, guys. It's crazy where we're at right now. I didn't even get into the whole business update, but that's where we're at as far as equipment goes. I know everybody likes equipment talk, and hopefully that catches you up on where we're at. If you have any questions about any of it, let me know. I'll help you however I can, try to educate you, inform you. I'll be definitely reaching out to a lot of you guys who do dirt work, who have had mini skids for a while, because this is a whole new world for me, trying to figure out just how all this stuff works, the maintenance, the buckets, the attachments, the hydros, all this stuff. And so when something breaks down, y'all keep your ears open, because I'll probably be calling. And you know who you are if you're out there. So thank you so much for tuning in the show today, guys. I hope it was a good just pick me up there for Wednesday, get you started back after Independence Day. Crush it at the end of the week here. We got to go out and finish this sod job this week. We're battling rain every single day in the afternoon, which is a good thing. It's a good problem to have. I'm not complaining, because I would much rather have that than it be a drought. And I see a lot of you guys are having a drought. We got pretty dry a couple weeks ago, and I started getting a little worried, but rain's picked back up, and I'm very, very happy about it. So I think that is going to wrap this show up, though. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can click on all the links in the show notes today. Use code GG50 for 50% off of your Quip registration. We can't wait to see everybody there. But Montana comes first, Together in Trades. Next week, 1 week from today, we will be heading out there. And it's crazy that it's already here. It's crazy that it's already here. Time is flying. As Caleb Allman says, our podcast that we did, I don't know, a month and a half ago said, the title of it. Go check that out. That'll be how we end the show today. Tempest Fugit, guys. We'll catch up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.